I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Almighty God, Creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech Thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that I may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with Thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. Amen. Honorable colleagues, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 6 February 2025. We have some couple of announcements. Let me start by recognizing the presence of the members of the All Progressive Progress Congress, APC, coming from Zone 3 of Kaduna State, to be with us to celebrate with our dear brother, Honorable Amos Gwamna. And the list of those who are here with us today include, but not limited to, Honorable Shehu Musa Tafam, Zonal Chairman, APC Zone 3, Honorable Nemeri Musa Akade, State Woman Leader, APC Kaduna, Honorable Larry Silva Ishaku, Chairperson, Jaba Local Government, Kaduna State, Dr. John Danfulani, Kaduna State Resident, Director of Identity Management Agency, and of course, the APC Vice Chairman of Northwest, Right Honorable Garbadeti Mohammed, popularly known as Babao. Please, can you rise for recognition? The members that have just mentioned their names, please, members of the APC, can you appreciate them? And also a PDP can join in the appreciation. You are most welcome. Please sit down. Yes, absolutely. We have some students here with us today to observe our proceedings. The first on my list is the Students' Union of Students Supreme Council, Joseph Sarwan Tarka University, Makodi. Are you around, please? Can you rise up for recognition? Members, can we appreciate their presence, please? You may sit down, please. We also have students coming from Graceland School, Abuja. Are you available? Please, can we appreciate their presence as well? You're welcome. Please sit down. Last but not the least, students from Crest International Schools. Can we appreciate them, please? You're welcome. You may sit down, please. Now, let me start on a happy note, an announcement coming from Honorable Kabir Al-Hassarurum, the Turakirano, and the Chairman Committee on Air Force. He has this announcement for us this morning, and it reads as follows. He said this is to inform all honorable members the Right Honorable Al-Hassan Adodogwa OON, the Sardauna Rano, has been conferred with an additional traditional title from the Daura Emirate Council as the Sardauna Kasar Hausa Mai Tuta. All members are hereby invited to know that all activities for the official turbaning will be communicated in due course.
Thank you.
Announcer Honorable Kabir Al-Hassan. Congratulations, our leader. Keep the flag flying. I hope one day you will conquer the South, so that will be the Sardauna of Nigeria as a whole. Again, on a happy note, it's my pleasure to announce that today is the birthday of three of our members. Honorable Kuye Ademoren Aliu, representing Shomolu Federal Constituency of Lagos. We also have Honorable Shehu Nasiru, representing Bodinga Tureta Shuni Federal Constituency of Sokoto State. We also have Honorable Idris Salman, representing Ijumu Kaba Bunu Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Are the celebrants here with us? None of them? So on behalf of the House, we are wishing you a happy birthday. The leader of the House, please can you move that the House suspend its rules to admit one of our former members, who is now a leader of our party. He is coming to join us briefly for an announcement to come very shortly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Professor Julius Ihanvere, our federal constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that we suspend our relevant rules in order to admit into the chambers a former member of this very respected House for some legislative engagement. I so move.
The House Leader, the Minority Leader, I'm sure will be very, very generous to admit one of your own, a former member of this House, who is coming to see our faces, to say hello to all of us. You have sore throat?
Mr. Speaker, we would be pleased to miss him for today. Let him come tomorrow, sir.
Well,
But
then I will ask Orobukumu to help you.
however, as a former member of these Green Chambers, he is always welcome. So I will second the motion moved by the House Leader.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Orobukumu, please can you lead Orobu Garbatati to come and be with us? Honorable colleagues, on a sad note, we received the death of one of our former members. In the person of Honorable Asuku Udo Umo. The message was delivered by Professor Joe U. Umo, and the message reads as follows. Request for National Assembly announcement or protocol for a departed former member, Honorable Asuku Udo Umo. Said on behalf of the family of late High Chief Honorable Asuku Udo Umo of Iton Odoro, Ikono local government area, I rise to please request an announcement and associated protocol in respect of the demise of Honorable Asuku Udo Umo be made on the floor of the House plenary of today, being the 11th of February 2025. Elder High Chief Honorable Asuku Udo Umo was born on the 23rd November 1927 and was called to the glory on 19th August 2024 in his hometown of Iton Odoro, Ikono local government area at the age of 97 years. He graduated BA Economics from Durham University in 1959 and PGEMA from University of Edinburgh in 1975. Honorable colleagues, shall we rise for a minute silence in honor of our late former member? May his soul rest in peace. I wish to bring the attention of the Honorable House on an important development concerning the composition of our leadership. Following consultations with the All Progressive Congress, APC caucus, and other stakeholders from the Southwest, the leadership of the House has received and accepted the recommendation of Honorable Isiaka Ibrahim to serve as the Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives. Honorable Isiaka Ibrahim succeeds our dear colleague, Honorable Adewumi Ijaya Onanuga, who sadly passed away earlier this year. Let us take a minute to remember Honorable Anonaga's invaluable contribution to this House and to our nation. May her soul rest in peace. We congratulate Honorable Isiaka Ibrahim on this well-deserved elevation and trust that he will bring the same dedication and commitment to his new role as he has demonstrated in his service to this House and to his constituents. We wish him success and God's guidance as he undertakes this important responsibility. May we all continue to honor the memory of Honorable Onanuga by working together to serve the Nigerian people with diligence, integrity, and a sense of purpose. Honorable Isiaka, congratulations.
Order, please. Honorable colleagues, return to your seats, please. Okay, come here.
Honorable colleagues,
Order, please. Order, please. Please be seated. Honorable Jimmy Benson.
Honorable colleagues, again, on a very happy note, I'm sure for APC and all other parties of this House, that one of our most vibrant member from Kaduna State,
Order,
the person of
please.
Honorable Dr. Amos Gomna Magaji, has emphatically declared that he will be joining, or he has already joined, the All Progressive Congress Party. He has made this known to his constituency a few days ago, and today he is announcing to all of us here that he has resigned from the People's Democratic Party to join APC. And with your kind permission, I will read this later. He said, I wish to inform you and the House of my resignation from the People's Democratic Party. Furthermore, I'm now announcing my membership of the All Progressive Congress Party. This decision was necessitated as a result of unresolved crises in the PDP, starting at the national, down to the world level. Despite efforts at resolving these issues, they persist and make it impossible and unhealthy to remain in the PDP. Yours sincerely, signed, Amos Gomna Magaji. Can we please appreciate this great man at this great hour, this great minute? for joining the biggest party in Africa. Congratulations, my brother. Congrat.
We are going to court.
Let us finish our celebration. I will recognize you. Honorable Garba Mohammed, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Absolutely. Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, point of
Thank
order.
you, Leader. Sit down. Honorable colleagues, I will now
Honorable members, take
to
your
the
seat.
minority leader to recognize his point of order.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, Chief Whip, please can you call the House to order?
Order, please. Honorable colleagues. Honorable, is it? Governor. Balele. Munir. Honorable Munir. Please be seated. Please be seated. Bado. Honorable colleagues, please be seated. Gumi. Please find your seat. Yeah.
Minority leader, please can you proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, Kingsley Chinda. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise under a constitutional point of order, Section 68, 1G of the Constitution of our country. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, you all agree that we are lawmakers and indeed custodians of the laws of this country. We carry the laws of this country in our bosom. We know the laws of this country and we practice them. Mr. Speaker, again, though it could sound like a broken drum, but we will keep speaking until the right thing is done. There are process and procedure that we, as lawmakers, crafted in our Constitution, that where a member is elected on the platform of a political party, and he decides to be a member of another political party, he has a right to do so, but there are consequences. And one of the clear consequences, as clearly stated in the Constitution of our country, is that you lose your seat. Mr. Speaker, on that note, and on behalf of the entire 365 other members who are out to uphold the Constitution, 360 other members.
365 is a mentioned minority.
Including senators who are out to uphold the Constitution of this country. We call on you, Mr. Speaker, to do the needful and declare the seat of our dear brother vacant. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Your remarks have been noted, and I'm sure our friend and brother must have followed all the rules. before deciding to put his resignation later, and I'm sure you saw what he wrote, that according to him, the party is divided. So if you have anything against that, I will advise that you put it in writing to me. We'll take a look at it in due course. Thank you for the observation.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry, we have an announcement today. The Northern Regional Caucus is going to have a meeting. The venue of the meeting, the time is going to be 3 p.m. and the venue is the temporary chamber of the House of Representatives, and this announcement is coming from no other person than the new Sardona of Arewa, Metuta, the regional chairman of the Northern Caucus. Honorable colleagues, it's my pleasure to recognize Honorable Donald Kimikabo Ojogo. To recognize Honorable Dr. Midala Usman Balami to move a motion he believes is urgent. Is Dr. Balami around?
Mr. Speaker, yes,
sorry, my brother, I skipped petitions, and I'm sure Honorable Oke is here. You'll be very unhappy that I do not recognize him today. So any member with petition, please? Any member with petition? I will start with Honorable Oke.
Thank you, our distinguished speaker, our esteemed speaker, esteemed colleagues. My name is Barrister Jesse Okejo Onwakalos. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I represent the Nigerians, especially the habit of Lagos, Oshodi Solo. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I have a petition from the Kwankwashia 2 community in Suleja. This petition is addressed to you, the Speaker. Is against Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, their complaint is that since the month of June 2024, they have been in blackout. Their prayers are well engrafted in this petition, and Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I seek your leave to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Uchenna Harris Okonkwo, member representing the Dembele North and South Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here from the Ugwagu subfamily from Umwota Obosi. The petition borders on getting back the work that was being done by New Map on erosion sites of Obosi, and asking and seeking for the work to be continued and finalized so the issue of erosion menace can stop within that community. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, with your kind leave, I would like to lay this petition before the House.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? No more petitions. All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petition. Okay, Honorable Matthew, go ahead.
Thank you, our amiable Speaker. My name is Honorable Attorney Matthew Nwogu. I speak for the people of Abombise, Ngwapala Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here from Obasi Fastens Help Foundation. This petition is written against the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, and ACG IG Owa, ACG Iman, ACG Kingsley Ebu, and Controller Awe, and Controller Fatia, Controller Faith, over alleged refusal to retire from service after serving 35 years of in the service. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, may I be allowed to lay this petition?
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petition for further legislative action. Honorable colleagues, it's my pleasure to recognize Right Honorable Dr. Mikala Usman Balami, who has a motion he consider urgent for a kind consideration and approval. Honorable Dr. Medala, please can you rise and move a motion?
Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker, Njenje, honorable colleagues, my name still remains Dr. Midala Usman Balami. I represent the good and dynamic people of Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, permit me this morning to leverage on Order 8, Rule 5, to suspend all relevant rules to permit me take matters of urgent public importance. This matter is a motion on the need to deploy urgent security measures and provide humanitarian support to Jibhuhui, Yarkawa in Hawul local government area and other communities in Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, the House note with grave concern
Any seconder to the first leg? Yes, my dear brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Right Honorable Comrade Chinedu Ogao, and I represent the good people of Ikwu and Ezasa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. I rise this morning to second the motion moved by my friends from Borno State that this motion is very, very urgent to be heard. I hereby second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. The second leg of the motion, any seconder? Yes, Honorable Hassan Hussein.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Hassan Sheikh Hussein. I represent the good people of Nasarawa Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. I rise to second the second leg of the motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Honorable Midala, please proceed and move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. The need to deploy urgent security measures and provide humanitarian support to Djibouti, Yarkawa in Hawul local government area and other communities in Askiroba Hawul Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the House notes with grave concern the recent escalating attack by Boko Haram's insurgency on Djibouti, Yarkawa communities in Hawul local government area of Borno State, which resulted in a tragic loss of lives, destruction of properties, and displacement of innocent residents. Also note that these violent attacks have persisted despite ongoing security interventions, leaving communities vulnerable to repeated assault, loss of livelihood, and severe humanitarian crisis. Concerned that the residents of Djibouti, Yarkawa, and its surrounding areas are living in fear and distress following the attack, with many forced to flee their homes, creating an urgent need for enhanced security measures and humanitarian relief. Worried that despite the magnitude of the attack, there has been inadequate response in terms of security reinforcement and immediate relief support for the affected people, worsening their suffering and leaving them in a dire need of assistance. Aware that the continued terrorism attack in Hawul, Askira Uba, Chibok, and other parts of Borno State not only threaten the safety and well-being of residents, but also undermine national security and effort towards peace, stability, and development in the Northeast region. Also worried that failure to take swift action to secure Djibouti Yarkawa communities and provide necessary support to victims may encourage further attacks exacerbate displacement and deepen the humanitarian crisis in the constituency and beyond. Mr. Speaker, the House resolved to urge the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police Force, and other relevant security agencies to immediately deploy personnel and reinforce security operations in Djibouti, Yarkawa communities, and other vulnerable areas in Askira-Uba Hawul Federal Constituency to prevent future attack. Also urge the federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Poverty Alleviation, National Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with Borno State government, to facilitate immediate provision of relief material, including food, medical aid, and psychosocial support to the affected victims. Mandate the House Committee on Army, National Security Intelligence, and Humanitarian Affairs to investigate the security lapses that led to the attacks and monitor the implementation of security reinforcement and secure the immediate delivery of humanitarian crises. Call on the federal government to strengthen counter-terrorism strategy in Borno State, improve intelligence gathering, and enhance collaboration between security agencies and local vigilante groups to prevent further insurgency activities in Askira-Uba, Hawul Federal Constituency, and across Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I so submit. Thank you.
Is it contribution? Okay, Honorable Mark has it.
Thank you, the People's Speaker, the game changer, and the man of the moment. Mark Eset is my name, speaking for the good people of Uyo who ran Saratai and Ibe Federal Constituency. I'm a proud son of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Speaker. The models of inclusive governance. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very pathetic that every day we meet here, issue of insecurity tends to carry majority of our discussions. And all members in their prayers and contributions will tend to agree on the establishment of vigilante groups. Mr. Speaker, with this, that even the security outfits in all the operations, they do that in collaboration with the local vigilante. Mr. Speaker, I think it is high time for us to stem the insecurity in this country and bring it to a total stop. The glamour for state police should be given prompt attention. If governors are using vigilante to assist the security operatives in carrying out their operations, I don't see any reason these hollow chambers will not in unison support, as a matter of urgency, the establishment of a state police. Mr. Speaker, this is very apt to avoid a continuous 1 minute silence in the situation where innocent blood and souls are being wasted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mark. Any seconder? Honorable Mohammed, I saw your hand up. Are you trying to second the motion? No? Bargaja? I thought you raised your hand earlier. Go ahead now, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Respect Honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Bargaja Mohammed, member presenting the Eastern Assembly Constituency. I believe my colleague, Honorable Medalla.
Honorable Kafilat. Go ahead. Did you finish? Did you second? Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Army, National Security and Intelligence, and Humanitarian Affairs for further legislative action. The next motion is coming from Honorable Oboko Fortune. If Honorable Fortune is around, please can you rise and move your motion? You?
With profound humility, Mr. Speaker, my revered colleagues, Ofoji Abonsis Boboku is my name, representing Yenegwa Kolokmo Pokuma Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move a motion of urgent public importance on the need for the Nigerian Communication Commission not to approve the impending hike in the telecommunication tariff. With the leave of Mr. Speaker and this House, I so move.
Honorable Fage.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, my name is Barrister Muhammad Bello Shehu, representing the people of Fage Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to second the motion assembly moved by my colleague as urgent enough to be heard by this House chamber. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion. Doctor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikorekpene, Esienudim, Oborokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud son of Akwa Ibom State. I rise to second the second leg of this motion that it is urgent and should be considered by this House. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Fortune, you have the floor.
With profound humility, Mr. Speaker, my revered colleagues, Ofoji Abonsis Boku is my name, representing Yenegwa Kolokmo Pokuma Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, the House note that speaking after the stakeholders meeting with the mobile telecommunication operation in Abuja on Wednesday, the 18th of January 2025, the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijan, disclosed that the telecommunication tariff will soon increase. The House also noted that according to the Minister, consultations are ongoing as there have been agitation from some of these companies to increase tariff to as high as 100%. He, however, said it will not be an 100% increase and that the Nigerian Communication Commission will approve the new tariff and announce them in due course. The House further note that the argument of the telecommunication company for the hike include the cost of investment, better networks, increasing demand for digital service across sectors such as education, banking, and healthcare, among others. The House is aware that the telecommunication company have been advocating for the hike for the last 11 years. According to the Association of Licensed Telecom Operator of Nigeria, ALTON, and the Association of Telecommunication Company of Nigeria, ATCOM, they argued that the telcos need cost-reflective tariff in the face of adverse economic reality like a record inflation of 34.6% in November 2024 and losses resulting from foreign exchange fluctuation. Mr. Speaker, the House is worried that the National Association of Telecoms subscribers have rejected the proposed increase in tariff, describing it as insensitive and a further burden on the consumer already grappling with economic hardship and poor network service delivery. It is imperative that the telecommunication company improve on their service delivery, poor network, which Nigeria have been yearning for in years before embarking on the increase in tariff. The House is also worried, Mr. Speaker, that far-reaching effect of the price hike will deepen financial struggle for the average Nigerian, threaten the economic vision of leveraging technology to drive economic revival, exacerbate poverty, and widen existing inequality, hitting lower-income families the hardest. Affordable connectivity is a must for progress in critical sectors like digital banking, education, healthcare, agriculture, and e-governance. Informal sector workers who depend on affordable mobile data to access gig work opportunities may find it harder to stay connected. Mr. Speaker, the House is saddened that those small businesses which rely heavily on affordable telecommunication operation, marketing, and customer engagement will face additional financial burden. Imagine a scenario where a 10% increase is approved. It is estimated that a 10% increase in telecommunication cost will reduce small businesses' profitability up to 7%, potentially leading to closure of businesses. Mr. Speaker, the House resolved urge the Minister of Communication...
Honorable Jimmy Benson, can you be attentive, please?
The House resolved urge the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy and Nigerian Communication Commission to suspend the impending hike in telecommunication tariff until their service improves. Mandate the Committee on Telecommunication to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, my revered colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder? Peter, the Rock of the National Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency. My name once again is Honorable Peter Anekwe, the only Rock of the House by Mr. Speaker. I stand this morning to second the motion raised by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Contribution? Or is it amendment? Which of the two? Honorable Dominic, but make it brief, please.
Good afternoon, our Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name remains Honorable Engineer Dominic Ifeanyi Chukwuokafo, and I represent the good people of Agata Federal Constituency, including the very performing governor of that state, Professor Chukwumachar Soludo. I'm from Anambra State. I'm standing this morning to share with the pains of Nigerians, the hardship Nigerians are going through. And I know that people will feel that increasing the tariff on the telecom tariff will increase that hardship. But coming from the private sector to this 10th National Assembly, I feel that suspending the increase in tariff until the performance of the telecom companies increase, I don't think it's fair. The last increase was done over a decade, over 10 years. And for somebody like I did say, coming from private sector, how do you expect them to increase their performance? Knowing that prices of virtually all the various indices have increased. I think we'd rather say that the tariff can be increased, but maybe not as much as 50%. Fellow colleagues, honorable colleagues, even though we represent the people, some of us are not happy when we receive a lot of challenges when we are trying to make calls. I strongly believe that for the services of this telecom company, for their services to become more effective, there's a need to allow some increase in their tariff. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dominic. Now we can take a seconder to this motion. Doctor, can you second?
Thank you, Speaker. I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Sawaru. I represent the good people of Oriomo Ode Federal Constituency of Edo State, a very proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, before I second this motion, I seek your leave for 1 minute to quickly contribute to this all-important motion moved by my able colleague, Honorable Ofoji Oboku. Mr. Speaker, we are the people's representative. How come everything that goes wrong in this country, the Nigerian people will have to suffer for it? Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, we had the electricity tariff. Now, it's Telecom tariff. Mr. Speaker, we are here to speak for the people. Yes, I don't think our people will be mad about any tariff or any taxes if what they are being used for is being seen by the Nigerian people. The same Telecom we are talking about right now, they are not at their best. You want to increase tariff? Yes, all over the world, even in the developed society, they pay for the services that they enjoy. But the services must be at par. The services must be something the Nigerian people will enjoy. You can't be paying for something you don't enjoy. You will agree with me that services in the telecom industry right now is not at its best. In Nigeria, you have to carry more than one phone. For what reason? So that if the network on one is not good, you have to use the other. Mr. Speaker, I stayed a long time in the developed society. We don't carry more than one phone. Even here in Nigeria, it's so difficult for me to cultivate that habit of carrying more than one phone. Why? Because in Nigeria, we let everything go. Even when they don't give us the services we pay for, we still let them have their way. Mr. Speaker, we are speaking again for our people. We are not saying tariff should not be brought in, but not now. Let the telecom industry tell our people, let them show to us that what the people should be paying for is being given to them. So, Mr. Speaker, I think at this point, this should wait. This should wait, and don't let Nigerian people go through this hardship one more time. This is a very bad timing. Having said that, I rise to second this all-important motion, ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Oboku Ofoji. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Communication for further legislative action. Honorable colleagues, my attention is drawn by Honorable Donald Ojogo that he has a matter under privilege to take. Is Honorable Ojogo on the floor?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm right here on the floor. Mr. Speaker.
Where are you? Okay.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Donald Kemekamba Ojogo. I represent the very wonderful people of Ilaje South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, I'm from Ondo State. I rise this morning relying on Order 6, Rules 1, 2, 3, and 5 of the standing orders of this Honorable House of Representatives under privilege. Mr. Speaker, this House of Representatives, ably led by you, remains not just another institution of government, but it is an embodiment of the authority and power vested in us by the good people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May I recall, therefore, that in the course of exercising our constitutional responsibilities, as provided for under the 1999 Constitution as amended, and acting in accordance with the rules guiding this House, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, last week Thursday, presiding, announced proposals received from Nigerians regarding the request for state creation. It is important to note that this announcement was made in fulfillment of the requirements for such proposals and not as a bill or proposal initiated by this House of Representatives. Unfortunately, the announcement has generated varied degrees of reactions. However, one particular reaction that has crossed the bounds of decorum, decency, and professionalism, breaching the ethics of journalism, and by extension, the privileges of this House. Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of the Honorable House of Representatives, I rise today
1 minute, please.
under the aforementioned order to draw the attention of the Honorable House to a derogatory and offensive comment made by one Reuben Abati of Arise News Television rather. In a viral video, Abati described the House of Representatives as stupid, in quotes, idiotic, in quotes, and this is an unfortunate, uncultured, and a profoundly baseless allegation that has undermined the integrity of this House and infringed on my privilege as a member of the House, and by extension, has put a bit of dent on my person as a trained journalist of over 27 years that has been molded for leadership roles in this country. About the premise his unguided remarks on the cover story of this day, although he called it editorial, which is wrong, a sister media outlet with same ownership as Arise TV of Friday, 7th of February 2025, using it as a springboard for his unjustifiable assertion. His remarks, laden with arrogance and ignorance of facts, represent a gross display of professionalism, Mr. Speaker, and distinguished colleagues. It is also a betrayal of the very proud profession of journalism. Such vulgarity and lack of decorum are not only unacceptable, but an affront to this honorable House and the dignity of its members who represent the good people of Nigeria. While this House upholds the principles of freedom of speech and press freedom, we must emphasize that such rights always come with high levels of responsibilities. Freedom of speech is not a license for the dissemination of falsehoods. It is also not an opportunity for the distortion of facts. It is also not an entrance into the promotion of decency and respect in the public service. Freedom of speech and press freedom is not a theater where people display insanity. This honorable House must not allow this insult to stand unchallenged. Therefore, I respectfully submit these two prayers for the consideration and approval of this House. One, demand an unreserved apology from Dr. Reuben Abati and Arise TV within 24 hours for their derogatory comments and for also providing the platform for the dissemination of such derogatory comments. And this will be within 24 hours. Two, and finally, take other measures deemed necessary by the House, particularly the House leadership, to address this national insult and prevent a reoccurrence. Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I thank you for this opportunity as I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ojogo, I think you have spoken the minds of the people, and we will expect nothing less than what you prayed for from the man. So we'll wait and see what happens, and then we'll determine the next course of action. Thank you very much for your contribution. Honorable colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 12 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. National Assembly Infrastructure and Property Agency Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Company Income Act Tax Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Osaka Deepwater Seaport Resuscitation and Development Bill 2025, first reading. National Broadcasting Commission Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Freedom of Information Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. National E-Gaming Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Nigeria Police Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Highways Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Road Safety Commission Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading.
Honorable colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the committees on treaties, protocols, and agreements, and environment on a bill for an act to provide for the conservation and management of Nigeria's wildlife as required under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, the Convention of Migratory Species of Wild Animals and associated agreements and protocols, and the Convention on Biological Diversity, to which Nigeria is a party, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Rabi Yusuf. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committees on Thursday, 24th October 2024. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Yusuf is hereby invited to present the report.
Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues, I am Honorable Barrister Rabi Yusuf, representing the good people of Somalia-Take Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, with your leave and the leave of the House, I wanted to present the report of our committees, that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Treaties, Protocols, and Agreements. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, we want to lay the report.
Any seconder? Any seconder? Honorable Agilo.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Umar Agilo, member representing Makarpi, Kudan, Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motions ably moved by my brother from Kano. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Honorable, please proceed and lay your report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of two reports of the Committee on Health Institutions, standing in the name of Honorable Patrick Umo. Honorable Umo is hereby invited to present the reports.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Dr. Patrick Umo. I represent the entire people of Ikore-Ekpene, Esienudim, Oboro-Karafido constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to apply that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to provide for establishment of Federal Medical Center, Saki, or your state, and for related matters. Again, I rise that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Malam Madori, Jigawa State, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Yes, Right Honorable Chair, Public Procurement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Rowan Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as moved by my brother, Dr. Patrick Umo. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Doctor, please can you present the report? The first order of the day, honorable colleague, is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish pharmaceutical technologists and pharmacy technicians Regulatory Council of Nigeria to be vested with responsibility of determining standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become pharmaceutical technologists and pharmacy technicians and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 6 February 2025. I therefore call on Honorable the House Leader to move that the bill be read a second time. I skipped the fourth business of the day. House Leader, please can you sit down? Let's take the fourth business of the day before we take this very important matter. Honorable colleagues, the fourth business of the day is presentation of two reports of the Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education. Standing in the name of Honorable Fuad Kayode Laguda, Honorable Laguda is hereby invited to present the report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I hereby present two reports for consideration. The first one being the House to receive the report and committee on. My name is Fuad Kayode Laguda. I represent the good people of Surulere 1, Lagos State. I hereby present two reports for consideration. The first one being the reports on House to do receive report with Committee on Polytechnic and Higher Technical Education on a bill for an act to establish National Vocational Center charged with the responsibility, among other things, to provide vocational training for Nigerian citizens for the purpose of modern industrialization, creating jobs and improving national economic development, and for related matters, HB 510, referred 21st February 2024. The second one is for the House to receive the reports of the Committee of Polytechnic and Higher Technical Education on a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act Cap F17, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024 to establish
Federal Institute of Technology and Entrepreneurship in Bongodu, Zamfara State, for the purpose of providing qualitative education in sciences, skills and arts, and other technical knowledge for the related matters and for HB 497, referred 30th October 2023. I hereby present my consideration for reports, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Anka, support him because there is a bill from your state.
Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Isa Muhammad Anka, representing Anka Talata Mapra constituency. I'm from the Forest State. I rise to support the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so support. Thank you very much.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is of it. Honorable Aguda, please move and delay your report. Honorable colleagues, I've already mentioned the first order of the day. My attention has just been drawn that we have 3 third readings, so I will read them all together so that the House Leader can take them all together as well. I've read the first order of the day, which is the establishment of Pharmaceutical Technologists and Pharmacy Technician Regulatory Council of Nigeria. The second order is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Chartered Foresters and for related matters. And the third bill is the third reading for an act to establish Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurship, and Corporate Governance and for related matters, all standing in the name of the House Leader. House Leader, please see if you can move and if you can rise and move for the 3 bills to be considered together.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that HB 345, HB 9896, and HB 1681 be read a third time by this Honorable House. I so move.
Minority Leader, please can you second?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish Pharmaceutical Technologies and Pharmacy Technicians Regulatory Council of Nigeria to be vested with responsibility of determining standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become pharmaceutical technologists and pharmacy technicians and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to establish Nigerian Institute of Chartered Foresters and for related matters, third reading. A bill for an act to establish Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurship, and Corporate Governance and for related matters, third reading.
The 3 bills are read the third time and passed accordingly. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to make provisions for regulatory body for organ harvesting, transplant and donations, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sade Soli. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 23rd November 2023. I now invite Honorable Soli to move that the bill be read a second time.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Sada Soli, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill for an act to make provisions for regulatory body for organ harvesting, transplant, and donations for related matters, HB 992, be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Yes, my dear senior brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Gwalabe. I stand to support the very important motion as being moved by my colleague, Honorable Sada Soli Jibia. I so move. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Honorable Sada, because I'm sure people will be curious as to what harvesting you are talking about, please, if you can give us a synopsis of what this bill is all about.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is out of the compassion, out of the feelings, and out of the yearnings of many Nigerians and organizations in this country because of the lack of regulatory framework that we have that can regulate the issue of organ harvesting, transplantation, and even donation, which is absent in our statutory books. And because of the preponderance of cases of this nature in this country and beyond, there is the need for this country to have some level of framework that will address some of these issues. If you can observe, I know it's only Lagos State government that attempted, Lagos State Assembly that attempted to come up with something like this. But there is the need, if we can have a national framework that can govern this kind of crisis. It was out of that need, Mr. Speaker, I sat down to see that if we can have something that can checkmate this, regulate these instances of organ harvesting, transplantation, and donations in the country. And that was basically the issue on this bill, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, honorable colleagues. I'm sure you have heard from him what the bill is all about. So I'm sure there may not be any contribution. It's a straightforward request. So we go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to make provisions for the regulatory body for organ harvesting, transplant, and donations and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Healthcare Services for further legislative action. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to provide for establishment of an electoral offences tribunal and ensure that all electoral matters are determined before swearing in of the elected office holders and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Bamidele Salam. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 30th April 2024. And I invite Honorable Salam to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable Salam, is he around? He's not around. Okay. So this bill is stepped down by the leave of the House. The sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute for Social Entrepreneurship and Leadership of Nigeria and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Abdullah El-Rashid, honorable members recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 2nd November 2023. I now invite Honorable El-Rashid to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable El-Rashid, have you resolved the issue with the chairman, rules and business on this bill? Okay. This bill is stepped down by the leave of the House. The seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish Federal Medical Center Otupa, Benue State, and for related matters. standing in the name of Honorable Philip Abese. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 13 July 2023, and now invite Honorable Abese to move that the bill be read a second time. Is Honorable Abese on the floor? No? This bill again is stepped down by the leave of the House. The eighth order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate non-compliance by mining operators to the provisions of the Minerals and Mines Act 2007 and the Explosive Act standing in the name of Honorable Gada Jonathan Gwepi. Honorable Gaza is hereby invited to move the motion. In his place, I think he has. Is not around. He has mandated Honorable Ete to move the motion on his behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Ete Okolupum. I represent the good people of Eket, Una, Esre Eket, and even a federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move a motion on the need to investigate non-compliance by mining operators to the provisions of the Minerals and Mines Act 2007 and the Explosive Act. The House notes that the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007 expressly outlined several consequences for mining operators who failed to comply with the provisions, some of which include revocation of mineral titles, penalties, and fines.
Honorable Rais, 1 minute, please.
Suspension of operations, legal actions, and community development agreements, to mention a few. The House also notes that whereas the Act was enacted to ensure sustainable mining practices, protect the environment, and uphold the rights of local communities, it has become increasingly evident that many mining operators have failed to adhere to its provisions, which reveals an alarming level of complacency exhibited by regulatory bodies in addressing these violations. The House recalled that in 2024, most Nigerians lost their lives in several incidents, which includes massive explosion in Bodija area of Ibadan, Oyo State, resulting in property damage on 5 dates, a mining collapse in Niger State, and a building collapse in Plateau State due to improper reclaimed mine tunnels. The House also aware that in recent times, there have been complaints from host communities on the administration of consents, as well as poor or negligible and non-compliance with community development agreements, leaving the host communities with the short end of the stick. The House is worried that the role of regulators in crucial in enforcing compliance and ensuring that mining activities are conducted ethically and sustainably. The apparent negligence and lack of actions in addressing these violations have raised serious concerns and eroded public trust. The House is also worried that if these ugly trends continue, they can lead to a breakdown of law and order among the affected communities. The House is concerned that the unfortunate cases stated are just a few out of numerous mining accidents, which often result in fatalities, injuries, and damages to host communities. Cognizance of the need to investigate the non-compliance of mining operators to provisions of the Minerals and Mines Act 2007 and the Explosive Act to safeguard mining host communities, protect the rights of citizens, and restore the integrity of the mining sector in the country. The House resolves: 1. Urge the Minister of Solid Minerals to conduct public awareness campaign to educate citizens on their rights under the Minerals, Mines, and Act and the mechanisms available for reporting non-compliance and environmental violations. 2, mandate the Committee on Solid Minerals Development to A, carry out physical inspection to mining sites, as well as a comprehensive review of the practices and effectiveness of regulatory bodies responsible for overseeing mining operations, with a focus on identifying areas of complacency and recommending necessary reforms to enhance their capacity and accountability. And finally, carry out an immediate and thorough investigation into the non-compliance of mining operators with the provisions of the Minerals and Mines Act 2007 and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Komoti.
Thank you. With due respect and humility, Mr. Speaker, Kwamoti Bitrus Lowry, I speak for the people of Diamsa, Numan Lamode Federal Constituency of Adama State. I rise to second the motion, ably move, and I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is referred to the Committee on Solid Minerals Development for further legislative action. The ninth order of the day is a motion on the manners of gully erosion in Nanka, Uko, and Umunze communities, standing in the name of Honorable Chinwe Clara Nabufe. Honorable Clara is hereby invited to move a motion. Is Honorable Clara around? No? This motion is stepped down by the leave of the House. The 10th order of the day is a motion on the need to install solar-powered biometric capturing devices in all correctional centers to discourage the incidence of jailbreaks in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Emeka Idu Godwin. Honorable Godwin is hereby invited to move the motion.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I am Honorable Engineer Idu Emeka G. I represent Onitsha North and Onitsha South Federal Constituency. I am from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, most respected colleagues, I rise to move a motion on the need to install solar-powered biometric capturing devices in all correctional centers to discourage the incidence of jailbreak in Nigeria. The House notes that in 2019, the former President Muhammadu Buhari assented to an act which changed the name of the Nigerian Prison Service to Nigerian Correctional Service. Aware that since the name was changed to Nigerian Correctional Service, we splitted the service into custodial and non-custodial service, more than 1,000 inmates have escaped from the facilities across the country. Disturbed that these jailbreaks are becoming a recurring decimal, national embarrassment, and a security threat to the country. He has also observed that in spite of the change in nomenclature, critical infrastructure like provision of information and communications technology ICT, closed-circuit television CCTV, artificial intelligence AI, and so on and so forth, are not provided to meet modern challenges in the security ecosystem. Concerned that the absence of modern technology equipment makes it impossible for the administrative staff of the facility to account for the number of escapees each time there is a jailbreak. Worried that if urgent steps are not taken to install modern security gadgets and equipment, like installation of solar-powered biometric capturing devices for an on-the-spot capturing of inmates at the point of admission into the facilities. Incessant jailbreaks will continue unabated, with attendant number of escapees accounted for. The House now resolves to urge the Ministry of Interior, the Nigerian Correctional Service, in collaboration with the Committees on Reformatory Institutions and Interior, to ensure the acquisition and installation of solar-powered biometric capturing devices to enable correctional officers capture full details of accused persons, both convicted and awaiting trial, and uploaded to a central data collection base. And two, mandate the Committees on Reformatory Institutions, Interior and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, please, go ahead.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, my name is Njenje Felix Uche. I represent Eleme Tai, Oyibo Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my friend Emeka G. I so second.
Amendment, Honorable Jaham, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Actually, it's a very beautiful motion, but I don't know why the mover is insisting on solar-powered biometric. Why not only biometric capture machine or anything? So that if there is a power where the location of the prison is, the power can work. Where there is no power, solar can be an alternative. But if you said solar-powered, I don't know.
How do you amend it?
My amendment is for that solar-powered to be removed.
And then what do you want it to be substituted with?
No, just biometric capture machine.
I think the whole essence is to make it 24 hours, real life, no interruption. I think it is not the absence of biometrics there, but to ensure that the solar assists in making sure that at all times the biometric machines will be working. So perhaps you can modify to say electric supported by solar.
By solar.
You understand?
Because
I don't know how
if you say
you
only
put
solar power, this shows if they use electric, it's illegal.
Yeah,
So,
I
so it should be
understand.
electric
You could
or
have
solar-powered energy.
It could have been indicated to mean as an additional support.
Yes, sir.
To electricity,
Yes.
isn't it? Not that solar should replace electricity.
Or electricity.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it should be a complementary kind of to support.
Okay, so my amendment is to provide electric/solar power biometric capture.
Any seconder to this? Majigiri?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, Ian Zazo. My dear honorable colleagues, my name is Alice Yusuf Majigiri. I represent Mashiduzi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the amendment, heavily moved by Honorable Jaha from Borno State. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Reformatory Institutions, Interior, and Legislative Compliance for further legislative action. The 11th order of the day is consideration of 3 bills. Standing in the name of the House Leader. The House Leader will move for their consideration.
Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the House, sorry, my attention has been drawn to the fact that the DS is not around.
That is true.
So committee of the whole would probably will not be able to sit. So I think we can, instead of you moving for this call for the suspension of other items on the other paper, for us to adjourn.
As the Speaker pleases.
Can you move that the House suspend other items on the other paper for today?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do suspend all the other items 11 to 16 on the other paper for today. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do suspend items 11 to 16 on the other paper for today. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, can you move that the House adjourn to tomorrow?
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihanvere, of one federal constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that the House do adjourn plenary to tomorrow, same time, same venue. I so move.
Minority Leader, please, can you second?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do stand adjourned to tomorrow. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. House adjourned to tomorrow, 11 a.m.